are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby. And let's just say the boys are back in town.
She got away. Know what I say? She can't control. She don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab a shot on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes?
We are back. Oh, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Welcome to another live episode of the Sports Port. I am your host, Tony. I am here as always with my co-host, Grasso.
How's it going, Tony?
Dude, very good. How are you, bro?
Great, man.
And of course, as always, as well, we have main Magic Mike behind the switchboard, super executive producer.
What's going on, world? Sorry, I'm back.
Dude, cut to my eyes.
Here we go.
No, they want to see me. They don't want to see you.
Hey, guys.
Keep it on Tony all show.
And also coming all the way from his vacation island, we have Brian Barnaby.
Ew. What's good, fellas?
What is going on, bro? Tell the viewers where you're at right now.
Yes. So right now, currently, I am in Oranjestad, Aruba, where we got 84 and sunny, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, and beaches on schedule within the hour.
Dude, beaches on schedule within the hour. Oh my God,
that's
I bet you're itching to get back to New England, huh?
Yeah, I bet, dude.
The one thing I do, other than the show, of course, is getting out on the course. You know, it's been a long hiatus over here, but hey, we'll get back to it.
I'm going to teach you a lesson on the course, bud. I'm getting ready.
Dude.
I didn't get to ask you guys who was the star of the show at the driving range.
I'd say Grasso, me, Tony, Harrison.
Yeah, all right.
Because
stacking them 300 in the air, Barnes.
Grasso, I'm going to tell him right now what we're going to do. So when we play Barnes, we're going to do 2-on-2. We're going to have commentators. We're going to film it all. We're going to be mic'd up. It's going to be Grasso and me versus you and Tony.
Yes, dude, I'm down.
Do it. Match play?
Yes, match play for sure. All right, and before we get into it today, I want to do a quick shout out to Soundview Media for putting us on their channel on Optimum and Frontier. All the channels are going to be in the full link and in our bio below. It's going to be every Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
The channels are actually on Optimum 77, 88, 78, 79, Frontier 6017, 6018, 6078, 6079, and off to the Intergalactic 6080.
What? So we're everywhere. So
that's the one you want to watch. 680 out to the Galactic.
So you have no excuse not to watch us. And let's get the show on the road here. And to switch it up today, we actually will be starting with the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go. LeBron James at the buzzer.
The Lakers win the game. We're starting off with the Lakers. They beat the Knicks last night, 101-99, at the Garden. Very embarrassing.
No, it's not. It's not embarrassing.
Center.
Relax.
Right.
It was at the Staples Center, first of all.
Oh, it was really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. LeBron didn't play.
Dude.
We thought he was going to
play.
play.
Yeah, we did. Well, they were saying he was going to play, but I guess not. High ankle sprain. We all know how that is. Davis had 20 points, 8 for 23 from shooting. Drummond had 16 points, 18 rebounds. Knicks, a couple players showed up. Randall had 31 points. Rose had 27. But other than that, where was the rest of the team? With the Knicks, we typically start with Mike.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what did you see last night?
I saw a Lakers team that came to play defense, and a Knicks team that only had two. Stop smiling, Barnes. Can you stop?
On vacation.
It's okay though, Barnes, because you could have this battle. We're gonna at least get out of the first round, and you're not, so that's fine with me. But we're not gonna go there yet. We'll not go there yet. We won't go there yet.
We're not gonna go there yet.
We just ended a tough 6-game road trip, 3-3, 500 on it.
Fell to the 6th seed now in the East. Are you worried?
No, not at all.
No,
we're right. We're going to win the next one and be right back up there in the 4th. And we're fine. They're playing hungry. They're pissed off that they lost. They know they had it. You listen to the pressers, and we're going to come back strong next game, and I'm not worried at all about these Knicks.
Yeah, and the Knicks coming out 3-3 on that road trip is a huge success.
Thank you.
I mean, they weren't playing light teams. They were playing tough opponents every night, including the Lakers last night. Like you said, it was all defense last night. But for the Knicks, I mean, Julius Randle at 31, he had a pretty nice night. Didn't quite get it done in the 4th quarter like we've seen in previous games. Rose played great again, keeping them in the game, vintage Derrick Rose. But no one else on the Knicks really did much of anything. RJ Barrett was just 2 of 13 shooting, 8 points. So you can't really expect the Knicks to really win games when they're not getting when they're only getting scoring from 2 guys.
Yeah.
And, a guy like RJ Barrett is only in his 2nd year, getting a little tired on the 6-game road trip a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
So that might have
hit some open
contributed to
threes that he just missed.
Yeah. And it's tough. Anthony Davis protecting the rim there in the end when Randall was trying to get that game winner off. That's a hard guy to go up against. So, I mean, the Knicks played tough, but the Lakers came back. The Knicks couldn't hold it on. That's a little worrisome. But what about you, Barnes? What do you think? We know you're buzzing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it showed who the better team was here. And I think just the Knicks, because it's such a great story and they're playing so above where everyone expected that they have been, that, these unreasonable expectations are coming up. And it's just like when you play a championship team like the Lakers, they shouldn't be expected to win, LeBron or not. A lot of these guys were on the championship team last year. Then you look at, the rest of the guys other than, AD, he had the injury late. So who knows if he'll play tonight, but, he had 20 points, but, Drummond, 16 points, 18 rebounds. I mean, that's huge for them, obviously. And then you look at Talen Horton-Tucker, he hits that big 3-pointer at the end there. So this is exactly what the Lakers needed. And I think it's just this demise of the Lakers is, very, overdone, and they're going to be just fine as long as their guys are healthy. So I think you'll see AD rest tonight against the Rockets, LeBron come back with a vengeance, and everything will be the way, it's supposed to be. And then, on the other side with the Knicks, I think this really just shows that while they're going to be a playoff team, but they're not ready to take that next step yet. And I think this is why, they're not really going to advance anywhere in the playoffs.
Oh, Mike, they're not ready, dude.
No, they'll advance out of the first round, Barnes. I think you're wrong about that, bud. But yeah, they're obviously not a championship team. No one said that. But
so I actually am not even sure myself though. If they were to finish with 6, they would play the Bucks?
Yeah, or possibly Brooklyn.
Oh man, I want that series so bad for you and Kansas.
Knicks Milwaukee would be great.
I want them too, because you know what? We'll beat them.
Yeah.
Barnes, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who would you rather see getting playoff minutes for the Lakers? Talen Horton-Tucker or Kyle Kuzma?
Horton-Tucker all day. Even though, you look at the box score, I mean, Kuzma 9 of 17, 4 of 8 from 3-pointer, 23 points, but he was minus 11 out there. And he's just very inconsistent. And I just like the all-around game from Horton-Tucker. That's why I would rather see him get more minutes, Yeah,
because I think when the Lakers get healthy, like those veterans are going to get minutes. Like the guards are going to be Schroeder, Caruso, KCP, and, LeBron, obviously. But it might be down to one of those guys. Only one of them probably will be playing in the playoffs. And I could see the Lakers going with Kuzma, which would probably be a mistake in my eyes, but Talen Horton-Tucker has been playing some really good basketball for this team.
Yeah, and the one thing I could see them doing too is, having him come off the bench, but then him finish the game, You see teams do that from time to time. So wouldn't be surprised if that happens, and it'll be interesting. So if they were to, be in that 7 seed, they would actually play the Suns as it stands currently in the first round, right?
Yeah, they would play the Suns, and that I mean, that's a perfect segue into our next game.
Oh, would you look at that, dude?
Warriors Suns. And
hey, Tony, do you know Richie Gufredo?
Oh yeah, it's my uncle.
Hey,
It's Uncle Richie. Hi, Uncle Richie.
Welcome to the show.
Richard, how are you?
All right. Moving along. Last night, we had the Golden State Warriors against the Phoenix Suns. The Warriors beat them 122-116. The Warriors had a couple good games for a couple players. Wiggins had 38, Curry had 21, Jordan Poole had 20 points. You kind of see a couple other players picking up the little bit of slack. I guess Curry is leaving there. At least for the Suns, we had Booker at 34 points, Paul with 24, Ayton 8 on 4 for 5 from shooting. So we kind of see, some good players coming around. I guess I'll start with Grasso first. What did you see last night?
Well, I mean, I think this game was a little bit more worrisome for the Suns than it was exciting for the Warriors. It's nice to get a win if you're the Warriors when Stephen Curry doesn't play that well. But at the end of the game, I mean, they had guys like Jordan Poole and Juan Toscano, I think his name is, like knocking down threes and stuff. And you just don't expect to get that on a regular basis. But, the Suns, they had a lead going down the stretch, and they just couldn't hold on to it. Booker had a couple turnovers, missed a couple shots. Chris Paul was good, but, just couldn't make the plays when it mattered down the stretch. And, I mean, the Suns, they need those guys. Chris Paul's got to be the guy to win games for this team. And it makes me kind of worried with their lack of experience, guys like Devin Booker, if when the playoffs come, if they're really going to be able to play at their best self in those big moments.
Right now, I think the Suns lost 4 of their last 5 games, I think. And obviously, you see a game like last night where they kind of had the lead, they just kind of lost it at the end. I mean, do you think maybe the Suns aren't as good of a team as they've been for most of the season? Or
I think the Suns are a really good team, but the playoffs are going to show they're going to bring out something different. And experience is so big in the playoffs, and having guys that could score one-on-one. Outside of Booker and Paul, they don't really have any scorers. They have a lot of spot-up shooters, 3-and-D guys. But, I think a big key for them is going to be to get DeAndre Ayton involved more. I mean, we saw 8 points last night, only 6 the night before against the Lakers. He was 3 of 3. He's taken 8 shots in the past 2 games. And for, a 7-1 guy that you drafted number 1 overall, who's supposed to be a phenom, you got to get him the ball more. I don't know if it's him not being aggressive enough, or if the coach is not running plays for him, or what it is, but they have to find a way to get him, at least 10 shots a game or 20 touches around the rim, get him 15 to 20 points a night. Because if they could do that, then the Suns are as dangerous as anyone out west.
Barnes, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a disappointing loss for the Suns, and you look at it, and I think you're right just about 8, and I think that hurts him, when he's having these small games, only having 8 points, and then, also, oh, my bad on that. Sorry, 1 second. Miles and Mikal Bridges, only having 6 points. I think they need these because we know that Booker and Paul are going to be there, but the other guys have to step up. And the thing I hate seeing, because I've been a big fan of the Suns all season, and I thought they would eventually overtake Utah for this number 1 seed, is they're not going to get that. And I think, unfortunately, they're probably going to end up having to play the Lakers in the first round, unless the Lakers win out, and I think the Blazers have to lose too. Even the Blazers would be a somewhat tough matchup. I would expect them to win that series, but I think you face the Lakers and they just don't have this experience that the Lakers do, and I think that's a terrible matchup for them. They draw any other team. They're in the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think they match up very well against the Lakers either, because we talk about LeBron and Anthony Davis are both very big, and the Suns, outside of Ayton, don't have much size that they put on the court besides maybe Jay Crowder. But Jay Crowder's only about 6'6", so what he brings.
Yeah, I mean, he plays big, but he's 6'6". I mean, he's not guarding anybody in the paint. Forget about it.
He's not guarding Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis is 6'10", is going to shoot over him every time, even if Jay Crowder is strong enough to play with them. But that kind of worries me if you see a Suns Lakers first round matchup.
Yeah. And one thing I know we had talked about this in the past. The way the play-in works, is it 7 versus 10, 8, 9, or is it the other way around?
No, so 7 plays 8. The winner of that gets the 7th seed. The loser of that plays the winner of 9 and 10.
Oh,
so 7
okay.
plays 10. The winner of 9 and loser.
I was confused. I thought like it was like 7, 8, and then the loser isn't in the playoffs. And I was like, how does this make sense? But I guess that does make a little more sense.
Yeah. So The Lakers will probably play the Warriors. The winner of that game gets the 7th seed. The loser has to play, as it sits now, the winner of Memphis, San Antonio.
And where it's possibly a 2-game series is only the round after that. The first round is just a one and done situation for the play.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
But, and I think, obviously being, an 8th seed, I mean, Warriors, just because of what Curry does, I mean, are, a little scary, just the fact that you have to defend him. But I still think, you put all your attention on him. I mean, is Andrew Wiggins going to go 17 of 24
against
for 38 points in the play game? No. So that's why I think Warriors, they're not going to do anything here.
No, I agree with you. I mean, this is great to see Wiggins have games like this, but we know when the playoffs come, and he's not going to do this.
And hopefully for them, they are quick out of the playoffs, and then with his value being high, they could trade him this offseason. That would be probably the best move for them.
Yeah, honestly.
Just don't trade him for Ben Simmons.
No.
that was a rumor. That was a rumor last offseason.
Wow.
All right, let's move on from there, Barnes. Jeez, with all your laughing and stuff. We have no time for that, bro.
I'll save it for the Nets.
Sports. Yeah. So last night, the Heat beat the Celtics. They clinched a playoff spot. They beat them 129-121. Heat moved up to 5th in the East, tied with Atlanta. We had a couple players on the Heat who kind of showed up, which they need. Unfortunately, though, you saw Jimmy Butler leave in the second half, got poked in the eye, which is always a little scary. I don't think we have any reports on how he's doing yet, right?
No, I mean, he was questionable to come back in the game. He wasn't anything serious. I think he just wasn't seeing all that clear, so they kept him out for the remainder of the game. But the Heat winning this game, that clinches. They're not in the play-in. They'll land 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there, with the Knicks and Atlanta, it's looking like right now. And now the Celtics are going to have to play in that play-in. And without Jaylen Brown, I mean, the Celtics are in a little bit of trouble. I mean, they end up seeing a team like Washington, someone exciting like that, and they can get knocked out. But I
think Washington would beat them, honestly. I really do. Without Brown.
I agree with you. But last night, the Heat, when no Jimmy Butler in the second half, the two guys that really stepped up were Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic. And those are the two guys that I think they need to score for Miami. Because outside of Butler and Bam, it's just like what we talked about with the Knicks. They need like those 3rd and 4th options to score. For Miami, it's Tyler Hero and Dragic. Those guys need to get buckets. Obviously, Duncan Robinson being a shooter, he's got to get open shots. But it was nice to see those guys putting up good numbers without Butler on the court last night. Yeah, man.
Barnes, anything to add?
Yeah, no. I mean, you would expect the Heat to win this game. So, I still think, though, going to be tough for them to compete with the top half of this conference because they've just been inconsistent all season. And I don't know if it's just guys shuffling in and out of the lineup or what it is, but it just doesn't seem like this is the Heat's year after making that miraculous run to the finals last year.
There's still something in me that thinks the Heat have a chance against anyone, though. There's something
I know you and Mike would pick them to beat the Bucks in the playoff series. We know that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not 100%.
We're getting out of the first round, Barnes. So just
my God, I really hope the Nets lose in the first round. That'll honestly make my year.
You do, they're going to win the championship.
All right, let's start previewing some of tonight's games. The first game we have up is Wizards at Hawks. Yeah, dude. Hawks trying to hold on to their 4th seed in the East. I think Hawks beat the Wizards the last time they met, right, a few days ago. Even though Westbrook had like a triple-double, they still come up with the win. So I guess we'll start with Grasso first. What's your pick for tonight?
I think Atlanta's going to hold on to this. I'm not too confident in the Russell Westbrook-led Wizards without Bradley Beal out there. So give me Atlanta in this game.
Mike?
Atlanta.
Barnes?
Our nation's capital. Russ is hungry. He breaks the triple-double record. I think he wants to show them that he's ready to go, honestly. And I just don't think this Hawks team is that good, honestly. So I think momentum.
The Rangers fired Quinn.
What, dude?
This just in. The Rangers just fired Quinn.
That is breaking news, dude. Yes. The Rangers just fired their head coach, David Quinn. Whoa, dude, that's crazy. And it's so funny because they were talking about that, like, you know, the second this whole, like, you know,
Chris Drury
thing and Chris Drury, yeah, they're like they fired their president and GM. Like, why aren't they holding the head coach accountable? You know, that's pretty crazy.
It looks like they have.
Mark Messier is coming. My prediction.
Dude, it might. Who knows, man?
No, I know.
I don't think he's going to be.
I talked to Mark.
No, you don't.
I saw him at Colony.
No, when? Yeah.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
With Chris, they were at the bar. I said, hey, fellas, what's going on with the Rangers?
You were such a fibber, bro. Dude, that's crazy news. It's obviously, you know, when did that just break? Literally broke just now.
Literally just now.
Yeah.
Shout out Gino texting us in the group.
Way to
chat.
go, Gino.
He said, are
Wow,
you guys
dude.
still alive? I said, yes, we are.
That's nuts, dude. So the Rangers are kind of continuing to kind of clean house here.
Shake things up a bit.
I think Quinn was their coach for 3 years, I guess. And obviously, you know, they're in the middle of a big rebuild. This was a huge rebuilding year for them. And
Time to bring in Mark.
I mean, that would be great, dude. I mean, that guy's gonna be a player's coach. I mean, I don't know. I
You
don't
want to talk about the Garden
I don't
Rocket
think
for the first time in 10 years?
interested in it, dude.
Oh, yeah?
But you know what? The only problem with that is, you know, we see this in all sports. When you have a star player from an organization, they're hesitant to bring him in because then when they have to fire them, that has a bad relationship with the guy going forward if it doesn't work out. That's
And
the
also
only
better
thing.
Fans too. Imagine Rangers fans when
But,
they
hey,
fire Mark Messier.
Hey, he
What?
did it once. He can do it again. They need
but
that magic, that Messi magic.
Once?
Win a Stanley Cup.
Real quick, just a quick question because I've been listening to Boomer and Carton about this a lot. Tony, you think they pulled the plug too early on everyone, being that they weren't supposed to be that good this year anyway?
I mean, honestly, I would say, yeah, dude. I mean, granted, there was like a lot of drama towards the end of the season, and I mean, they were close to making the playoffs. It's just they just couldn't make that extra stride at the end. But I mean, I think they have to be a little more understanding with, like, it was very understanding that this year was a rebuilding year. They had a lot of young guys, a lot of new staff just in general. And I mean, I don't know, obviously, like, it left a bad taste in the owner's mouth, I guess, this season. But I mean, I think it was a little quick. It's barely even, it's not even the off season yet. You know, nothing's, like, I don't know, dude.
No,
but, I mean,
I think it's Dolan. Like he doesn't have to worry about anything with the Knicks, so he has to turn to the Rangers to fire somebody. You know, that's just like his go-to move.
yeah, maybe, dude. He was just itchy firing finger, dude. I don't know, but we'll see who the Rangers will bring in as their head coach. I mean, obviously, you know, I would imagine it's going to be someone who's deserving of the position. I mean, I kind of like David Quinn. I liked him a lot, actually. I thought he was really nice. The players liked him. I mean, I thought he was a good rebuilding coach to have. But, I mean, I guess evidently not. So
maybe Tortorella comes back to town.
I highly doubt Tortorella's coming back to town. I do not think that's going to happen, dude. Columbus didn't even want him. Like,
Man.
All right, moving back on.
I guess moving back to basketball.
You want me to
I guess,
run down the rest of the games for the night?
Yeah, dude. Let's see.
So the Wizards are playing at the Hawks. We got the Spurs at Nets, Celtics at Cavs, Pels at Mavericks, Blazers at Jazz, Rockets at Lakers. So you got a bunch of teams that are right in the mix in the playoff situation, kind of battling it out for seeding here. You know, the Mavs, the Blazers, the Rockets are all in that 5, 6, 7 range in the West. They're all playing tonight. The Spurs trying to hold on in that play-in. They're in the 10 spot. The Nets in the 2 spot in the East, trying to hold on there as they're only a game up on Milwaukee. But, I mean, out of all these games, I'm looking at the Spurs Nets. James Harden might play tonight. So that'll be our first look at him in a little over a month now. So excited to see him back on the court. Hopefully he actually does play. And this isn't like yesterday where we say LeBron's going to play and then he doesn't. But I don't know. What games are you guys looking at tonight out of these?
I mean, I want to go Rockets at Lakers. I mean, I love to hear Barnes talk about the Lakers. So I would love to see the Lakers lose and Barnes be miserable.
And LeBron should actually
from the
be
Rockets
in
too.
the lineup. That would be.
No, and it's funny too because, you know, you'd look at this and you'd say, oh, you don't want to rush LeBron back, especially against the Rockets. They could beat him anyway. But he was ready to play last night, so I think he just, you know, went an extra game. So that's going to be blowout. So we're not focused on that game. I think really Blazers Jazz. I mean, how could this not be an exciting game? Both playoff teams and the Blazers have been playing well, and they don't want to be in the playing game. So I think you're going to see Dame put on a show.
And both these teams can gun. They're going to be shooting. There's going to be no lack of scoring in that game.
Donovich might have another 48.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? Any picks tonight?
Yeah, I'm going Mavs, Pelicans.
Luka versus Zion.
Yeah. Yep. Team Jordan. The
Star
two guys, the different referee arguers.
Yeah. It is a little disappointing to not see the Pelicans get into that play-in tournament. I'm sure every NBA fan would rather them be in there instead of San Antonio.
I know, but of course.
One last star
Hopefully
matchup.
They start with the Fire Stan Van Blimps over New Orleans.
Yeah, those should be flying high.
All right. Well, I think that does it for D-ball.
Finally, dude, now I think it's a time that everyone's been waiting for. We're going to take a look around the world of Major League Baseball.
Giving chases Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna.
The wall is gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone.
All right, Barnes. It's been a while, dude. We're going to start off, as always, with the New York Yankees beating the Tampa Bay Rays finally 3-1.
I haven't seen Barnes smile that long in forever.
Literally, from cheek to cheek, Barnes. I mean, dude, I'm going to just give it to you right now, dude. Like, just take me through this game. What did you see? What did you like? Give it to me straight.
Well, I mean, a couple of things obviously pop off. First, Jordan Montgomery. I mean, what a start. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Really had the changeup going. And this is after a run of starts where he didn't really impress that much. So I was really happy to see that. And then, of course, Judge with that big first hitting home run. And then it was nice to see Gary Sanchez, who's had a tough start, hit a homer. And then did you see him throw that guy out in the 9th?
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, what a stand-up play behind the plate, dude. I mean, he turns around, the ball bounces right back to him. He just fires a dart to second base. I mean, it was great. Yeah. It was great. It was just seeing behind the plate.
I have to say, I think that honestly changed that whole inning. I was worried because Chapman's been so good this year. He hasn't had to deal with runners on. So for that guy to be taken off the base was huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It helped Chapman. He retains his 0 ERA for the season.
And I got nervous too. The trainers went out in the 9th, but I guess it was just a problem with his fingernail, they said after the game. So luckily, that's all it was. And then, you look at the rest of this game, Voit making his return, 0 for 3, but good to get him in the lineup. And he did get hit on the hand, but they haven't said anything today. So I guess, he's okay. So nice to just get him back in the lineup. I mean, him starting over Mike Ford, I mean, the difference in that is insane. So great to have him back. And then Loizaga gave him 2 big innings out of the pen too. So all in all, I mean, you like to see a team that they've struggled to beat, the Tampa Bay Rays, and this Rays team really just hasn't hit at all this year, but really who has hit in the whole league? I mean, the splits on the average hitter, it really is annoying me. Like, do you think that we're going to start seeing this going the other direction? And then another question too, do you think that it has anything to do with this new baseball this year?
I mean, I want to say it has a lot to do with
what's the softness level
with the new baseball. It's a level 1 softness, Mike.
Okay, that makes sense. Those are getting cranked.
I mean, I think they talk about them changing the baseball almost every year. So, I mean, I think it's starting to take effect on how far these balls go. Obviously,
they should use the balls from 100 years ago with Babe Ruth.
Oh, definitely, dude. Those will fly out of the stadium. But no, I mean, I think we're gonna see this kind of trend in the at least batting averages trend more towards the downward direction, especially with the way
it's embarrassing. Like, so many guys are under 200.
I know, but I mean, it's crazy. It's not even just, I mean, like we mentioned, it's like the whole league. Like, a lot of batters just aren't hitting. They're at 200. It's crazy, but I mean, it is what it is at this point. I feel like
it is.
Like, they're changing the ball. It's like almost every year they talk about how they change the ball, and I mean,
I know, but it's like I think they might have made a mistake because it's like they want more viewers, more interest in the game, and having these guys strike out every time isn't going to help the game at all. But, we'll see too, because a lot of times, mid-May, end of May, the bats really start going. So the Yankees here, I mean, I've been impressed too. They've had these grind out wins, those 2 games against the Nationals where they came back, had the walk-offs. This game's now today, you want to see the offense get going, but it's just refreshing because they started out 6-11 and now they've been 13-5 since then. So this is what we've been waiting for. And, you look at tonight, Cole's on the mound, so he's always, setting the tone. And we haven't won a series against Tampa, yet alone in Tampa, in such a long time. So I think that's huge. So you want to see him go out there and, have another vintage game. And then Colin McHugh's on the other side. So you'd expect the bats to warm up, maybe Voit, but and Glaber too. When is Glaber going to get going? I know he hit the home run on Mother's Day, but it's like I'm tired of waiting for it.
I know, and it's funny. I think the last time Cole, his last outing against the Rays, rather, I think was his only loss on the season, I believe, despite having 10 strikeouts, only giving up 2 earned runs. I mean, obviously, you could argue that the Yankees bats were a little bit different back then, but I mean, do you see them kind of heating up against the Rays tonight?
Yeah, I do. I think Colin McHugh, his ERA is in 7. He hasn't been a good pitcher in a couple of years. So I would expect, I don't know if it'll be a full, outburst, but all I want to see here is a win and maybe just 5 runs instead of 3. 3's kind of on the light side. And I think it's important you win this game, you clinch this series, and whatever happens tomorrow, with Tyone. And then also, coming up is really the crunch time for the bats to get going. They're playing 7 games, 3 in Baltimore, 4 in Texas. Those are games where you should average 7-8 runs a game.
Absolutely. And obviously, tonight, Higgy will probably be behind the plate for Cole. But dude, like Sanchez, do you think we're going to start seeing some vintage, like 2014 Gary Sanchez? Because he was looking locked in last night. Like we saw him.
How locked in?
Dude, so locked in, bro. He looked almost angry the whole game. He was just
so I don't think we'll ever get back to like that season, but I do think we're gonna see improved play because he's all smiles, dapping up Higgy when he hits homers, but inside, he wants to be out there every day. So I think there's a big chip on his back, and like I said, with those 7 road games coming up against teams that don't have good pitching, this is go time, and I'd expect him to hit well. And Glaber, we saw how well he's done against Baltimore in the past. This has to be the time where the power comes.
Right. Yeah, dude, that guy's the Oriole killer, bro. I think last season he had.
I think it's illegal to kill Orioles.
I think 80% of his home runs were against the Orioles.
Well, 2 years ago. Last year he was a little off, but so but honestly, just what a difference a couple weeks makes, and it's just I can only imagine what the Yankees record would be if they had the pitching that they've had the last 3 years. Right now they're 3rd in the major, or 4th in the majors with a 3.16 ERA. When was the last time we saw that? That's really just been their backbone all season.
I'm looking up right now. It's 0-2, Barnes. Last time you saw that.
That's almost 20 years ago. And how about a quick shout out to the New York Mets with a 2.96 ERA? That's pretty impressive.
Dude.
It's all the ground.
Well, DeGrom's obviously helped with that, but the pitching's carried them, and now it's time for the offense to get going. And obviously, a lot of fans are probably still discouraged with the way the offenses look. But at the end of the day, wins are wins. And good teams grind out games, and that's what the Yankees have done over the last week or so.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Mets, which is a great segue here because we're going to move on to the Mets, dude. Dude, last night. Another walk-off win against the Orioles. They win 3-2. They come back in the bottom of the 9th. Just like it was kind of a slow game to watch because it was such a low scoring until like the 8th inning, 7th inning. But what a freaking game, dude. We have Patrick Mazeika again walks it off for the Mets. That's his 2nd time this week walking it off on a fielder's choice. I think he's the first player in 100 years to have 2 walk-off ground outs with not a hit yet in the majors. He has not had his first hit in the major leagues yet. However, he has 2 game-winning RBIs, walk-off RBIs, which is hilarious. I don't know, dude. This guy
sounds like a Met stat.
It sounds like a Met stat is what it is, dude. We had Stroman on the mound last night. You had an outing that you needed from him. 6 1/3 innings, only gave up 4 hits. 1 run, 5 strikeouts on the no decision, but he has a 2.01 ERA for the season. And, we've kind of seen him since his last couple of outings. He got a little banged up, letting up a lot of hits. But he's been focusing more on getting more strikeouts, which you see him getting 5 strikeouts last night, which is about his average for a game because we talk about him every time. He's more of a contact pitcher, but he has a really good outing that you need from him. I think he left in the 6th with the bases loaded, 1 out, very pissed off. But Aaron Hoop came in, only let up 1 run, I think, in that inning. So, you have a good outing from the starting pitcher as well as the bullpen. And I mean, dude, 9th inning, bro. You have Pilar coming in, ice cold at the plate. He, at first, what they thought was a home run that would have tied the game was actually called foul after the umps reviewed it, but comes back to the plate. Stays that ice cold, that mentality, gets a single, gets on base, which eventually he ends up tying the game as he comes in, I think, from Dom Smith. So, it was just a tremendous game. Barnes, you should be as happy as I am right now. What did you see last night?
Yeah, no, honestly, this kind of almost is similar to what the Yankees have done in terms of grinding out these games. It's 6 straight wins. And of course, the Orioles, you would expect the Mets to have no problem with them. But like I said, win's a win. Tough wins make a team better. And, it's really been impressed with the Mets pitching this year. It's just they've been lights out. And how about Familia? We were joking around about him before the year. His ERA is under 1. I think that's been a huge asset for them. And, I wonder, too, if this whole rat situation with Lindor and McNeil almost is going to make the team closer, and especially them two, and then, kind of cause the bats to wake up here.
Yeah, man. I would hope so. I think the whole rat thing is absolutely ridiculous. Like, they couldn't come up with just a better excuse.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
It was kind of embarrassing. But honestly, Lindor seems to be pretty stand up about it now. At least he'd wiped off with whatever issue they were having. It seems like it was more of just a communication issue between Lindor and McNeil at second base, because we saw at the time, I think there was a ground ball in between them, and I guess there was no communication, and I guess that's what kind of sparked the argument, I would suppose, probably amongst some other things, because it seems like they were kind of butting heads at that in most of the season.
And I could see Lindor, just because his personality possibly at times rubbing people the wrong way. Like, they showed him mic'd up in the All-Star game a couple of years ago, and he just doesn't stop talking. Like, he just talks and talks and talks. So I'm sure McNeil probably just got a little fed up. This guy's talking, but he's missing the ball going by him or whatever. So sure, that's what all that was about. But I think, you have to be happy, being the Mets right here, being in this situation, winning 6 in a row. And I think Stroman, right now with, DeGrom on the IL, he's really kind of their leader on the mound, and he's really exceeded expectations this year.
Yeah, definitely. And to kind of go back to McNeil, the guy's a little bit of a hothead. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Anytime he strikes out, you just see him scream the F-bomb.
Like a Paul O'Neill type of thing.
Literally, it's hilarious. Yeah. But speaking of him, he actually left the game yesterday with a hamstring injury. I think it was the 4th inning, maybe. He kind of decided to try and stretch a single into a double, and just pulled something in his leg. He was out by a mile at least. A really weird decision. I love people being aggressive on the bases, but dude, I don't really know.
But the funny thing is, if he wasn't aggressive there and dogged it, then it would have been all about, he doesn't run out balls and all that stuff.
But then he probably wouldn't have gotten hurt and left. But even still,
Hammy, it's got to be the IL, right?
Of course, dude, at least for 4 weeks, bro.
So Villar, I guess, slides into that starting second base role, right?
Villar's been at third with Nimmo being out. So, yeah, yesterday they had Peraza come in at second base for McNeil. Okay. And dude, the Mets bench has been amazing this year. He comes in, he has a hit, he goes 1 for 2. Peraza's batting .222 on the season, which we talked about, which is pretty decent at this point. So, I guess kind of see how we don't have any updates on his hamstring yet, but we'd imagine he'll be out for at least tonight's game. Actually, I do think the lineup is out. We have Peraza starting at second. So, we'll kind of keep you guys updated on his injury. But kind of speaking of tonight's lineup, tonight they're back at Citi Field against the Orioles, obviously, and we have Matt Harvey taking the mound versus Taijuan Walker.
You already know what's happening.
I mean,
I'm right on board with you once, Mike.
Yeah, there we go, but it's over for the Mets tonight.
I don't think so. I mean, I will give it to Harvey. He's having, I guess his best start to a season in the last
5 years.
5 years, yeah, at least. But I mean, you still see he still has somewhat high velocity, but you see the spin rate on his fastball going down drastically. His whiff rate is also down or up rather. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's tough because I feel like the bats for the Mets have been kind of inconsistent. So you really don't know exactly what you're getting, especially with some of our better hitters being out of the lineup. I mean, I would love to see Alonso kind of take him deep just to start off the game, bro. I would love to.
It's going to be strike 3.
I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see what happens. I mean, ideally, they should know what Matt Harvey's throwing at them. And of course, you want a good outing from Walker on the mound. He's been very good this season, actually. Especially he's been increasing his velocity over the past years. So, you expect to have a good outing from him. Hopefully he goes 6, looking for 9 Ks. The bullpen will back him up for sure. Barnes, what do you think tonight, dude? Do you think the Mets have this one? Honestly, dude.
It actually starts in less than an hour. I'll be tracking this on my phone on the beach for sure because I'm interested to see what's happening. But honestly, in all seriousness, not to just give you a tough time, Tony. I saw firsthand what he did to the Yankees, and his velocity was up. He was hitting 95 on the gun consistently, and I just think when you have these revenge games, we've seen it in all sports, football, basketball, guys take it really personally, and especially at Citi Field. I really wouldn't be surprised.
Dark Knight returns to slay.
6 innings, 10 days, no runs, and it's just going to be up to the Mets hitters to rally against the Orioles bullpen, which has been a lot better than expected this year. So I think it's a matter of winning the game late. Harvey's going to be locked in, and he's fired up and ready to go and just has a new leash on everything after getting this chance, making the Orioles out of spring training. And he's really positioning himself to be a top target at the trade deadline.
No, yeah, for sure. And, he's talked about it in interviews, how grateful he is for this opportunity. But I don't know, man. I think some of his nerves are going to get to him tonight, dude.
Okay.
This guy was one of the best pitchers in baseball at the time when he was with the Mets. And he, took a complete dive bomb. So I don't know, man. I think his nerves are going to get the better of him. I think he may make a couple mistakes, leaving a ball, middle over the plate. Hopefully, we take advantage of that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, dude.
But it's like they haven't taken advantage of that recently. That's the thing. But I just think when you have that life on the fastball, he seriously has late life against the Yankees, like something I hadn't seen in such a long time. So it'll just be interesting to see, what he does here. But I just feel like he's just so grateful and really just at Citi Field just must be such an adrenaline rush for him.
I know. I mean, you love a comeback story, but not me, not today.
Not me, not today.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that'll do it for our episode here. You guys have any closing remarks? Anything?
June 12th, Aaron Carter, Lamar Odom. Let's do it, boys.
Oh, we're there.
Go.
Atlantic City.
And then also, I'm definitely pumped for that. But on a sadder note, it came out yesterday. R.I.P. Colt Brennan, the former Hawaii quarterback, only 37 years old, passed away. Just a sad story, and a guy who really put Hawaii football on the map. Broke the touchdown record he had for a few years. So sad to see someone go that young. So wishes, best wishes to his family, and our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Yeah, that Hawaii team was so exciting to watch, too, when he was quarterback.
I know, dude. I think he had 4 1,000-yard receivers. It was, insane. They would drop 60 points every game.
All right, well, on that note, hopefully, tomorrow will be recapping a couple New York baseball wins. You know, Barnes, are you with us tomorrow? Or are you going to be on the beach all morning?
So no, I'm going to be in the air actually tomorrow, but I will be in studio on Friday. So looking forward to that.
Wow, if we let you in, I don't know when that's
the locks might have been changed.
All right, man. Well, you enjoy the rest of your vacation. Safe flight. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Sports Board here. Don't forget to follow Downtime on all social media. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We love you all. Peace out.
Peace.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.